Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight panel series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today, I'm sitting down with a number of phenomenal business entrepreneurs and business owners here in the Central Texas area, chatting about business and this crazy entrepreneurial journey that many of us are on. So excited to be jumping in, having some conversation alongside my business partner, senior partner Jody O'Brien here, who will be facilitating most of the conversation here today. So why don't we do this? Let's start with just a little bit of background. Kind of give us the 2 minutes of who you are, your background, and tell us a little bit about your business. We'll just kind of go round robin here and then end with Jody and allow her to kind of take it from there. So looking at my screen, Amy, you are first up on my list. Why don't you go give us kind of the 2 minute who you are and tell us a little bit about your business.
My name is Amy Colton. I have two businesses. The first one is I'm a wealth advisor, so I do a lot of financial planning, a lot of help people with anything that money touches, investment advice and whatnot. But my real passion is helping, and I built my business with the intent of helping women going through major life transitions. Most financial advisors are men. And even in the couple situation, the man talks to the man. And I wanted to make sure the woman got her questions answered, she got educated, and she was part of the process. But in dealing with that, I started doing some work with women and men going through divorce. And so my business called Your Divorce Made Simple has really come a long way over the years in really trying to think differently about the divorce process. And so I work with either couples or individuals on the financial aspects of divorce. It's most people, when they think divorce, they think I need to hire an attorney, and they may at some point in the journey, but about 80 to 85% of the people that I talk to do not need a lawyer right away. So what I try to do is I try to work with them to come up with what I call a divorce financial plan before they hire an attorney. And if I'm working with a couple, I include mediation. I'm also a certified family law mediator, and I've combined the skills of a wealth manager and a mediator. So if I'm working with a couple, we'll do mediation as well as come up with a plan. If I'm working with just one individual, then I'll just work on the divorce plan, which is really what is life going to look like after divorce? And what the financial and tax ramifications you need to understand when you're splitting up your nest egg. So that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that and glad to have you here. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Anita, we will shift over to you. In 2 minutes, give us kind of the spiel on who you are and what your business is.
Sure, Anita Tulsiani, and I'm the co-founder of a marketing consultancy called Sagely and Company. And we actually selected this name because we have been marketers for about 20 years. And what we wanted to do is provide sage wisdom to businesses, B2B primarily, on how they should run their marketing organizations, everything from that strategy to the execution. And why we did this is that we had gone into several startups where they had over-indexed on hiring like a chief marketing officer or a head of marketing, but they really hadn't gotten that scale yet. And so you're paying a very hefty price tag for a marketing head plus all of their resources. And what we wanted to do is go in there and say, let us really do brute force and do both that strategy and the execution for you while you scale your revenue up. And when your revenue is at a certain size, then you can kind of go off. And so really our love is all things marketing, but we want to get it right from that first position of how the product should serve the needs of its customers and not just do marketing for the sake of marketing. So we'll get into a business, we'll roll up our sleeves. We will ask why should people care about this product, really define that value prop, and then we'll go to town. And we believe that there's a significant value created when you're not wasting money on marketing or a lot of headcount until you really get that foundation set. So that's a little bit about our business. And I'm here in Austin, Texas.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anita. Tony, you are next up on my list here. Give us the spiel of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. My name is Tony Angello, and I own 4 businesses, I believe, at this point. All of them are interwoven. My holding company is named Angello Enterprises, and then the businesses that I have waterfalling underneath that are going to be Angello Consulting, Angelo Zalazzo Imports Exports, and then we're in the process of building a showroom called House of Cheyenne with a business partner, my name's Cheyenne. And so my background is primarily in insurance. I'm a licensed adjuster and appraiser, which is like arbitration for insurance claims, commercial and residential. And so I've done property, commercial, marine, and then portfolio-wide consulting on insurance and risk needs. And then I was in single-family rentals. I've worked at development companies like Cushman and Wakefield. And then my import-export company was sort of we had a big problem during COVID for supply chain, and that was the brainchild of me and one of my other business partners named John Zalazzo, where we decided to take control over our own supply chain as opposed to rely on Home Depot or I don't know, one of the myriad of specialty architectural product purveyors in the Austin area. And so now we own the import export piece, the design build piece, and then we are opening a showroom to showcase all these wonderful things we're bringing in from all over the world.
Fantastic. I'm loving the diversity of all the different types of businesses so far represented today. Nicole, we will shift over to you. Give us kind of the intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Hi there. Thanks for having me today. My name is Nicole Welch with Texas Paint and Fabrication. We're out of Bertram, Texas. We are a minority woman-owned business, and what's fun about it is we do sandblasting and industrial coatings, which is probably what most people wouldn't recommend or see when they see me, but I'm out there. Don't worry. I'm out there doing stuff. That's what I was doing a minute ago, unfortunately. Aside of just doing our sandblasting industrial coatings, it's a very niche business, but I have a very big passion for entrepreneurs and students. So I do also work with the local high schools and their incubator program and helping teach students how to become business owners in the future. We go to chambers and do trade services and really promote the trade service because I think that's so important for our youth to don't forget about the ones that aren't behind computers kind of thing. I've also have actually just formulated today my first nonprofit business where it's going to be called Native American Heart. It's healing, empowering advocacy for reproductive triumphs for Native Americans. So that's my newest journey and part of what Tony said about waterfalling of businesses. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I can't stop with just one. And we are also going to be expanding our current business into a new one, which we're working on a name where we're going to be specializing in custom automotive, which there's a lot of places out there that do that. We are just finding that people really want us to do that too. So we're making that transition into accelerating other stuff. So why stop at just one form of business when you can do more?
Awesome.
And painting is the most expensive part of any project. Cars, commercial, industrial, mechanical equipment, all of it. The painting is the most expensive part.
Especially red. Red is so expensive.
I love it. Well, Nicole, welcome. Thank you for being here. Cortana, give us the background of you and tell us a little bit about your business.
Thank you for having me. So exciting. Really never met anyone, and this is really exciting to be here and just get to meet everyone. I'm Kirtana Banskota. I also own multiple businesses. I'm a director, producer, filmmaker by trade. So I've been doing this full time for 3 years now, which in Austin has become pretty rare. I am Nepali American so minority business owner. Also co-founded the South Asian House, which is a platform for South Asians to be celebrated from all across the globe in major large-scale festivals like South by, Tribeca. I'm going to Art Basel in Miami in December, and then we're back at South by again this year. This year was our first year, so we had 7,000 folks that showed up for us, so that was incredibly cool. I also co-founded a film festival in Maryland called the Nepal America International Film Festival and Society to bridge the gap between filmmakers in South Asia and here. And I'm on the board of Women in Film and Television Austin. I'm on the board of Asian Family Support Services of Austin. So, and I have my own production company as well called Banskota Productions, and I've got several features coming out this year and next year. But yeah, I'm all over the place too. I can't
It's
stop.
amazing.
I just can't stop.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is, I'm super excited for the conversation because there's so many different, perspectives that we can get from some of the conversation today. Jody, I'll hand it over to you if you want to give kind of a little bit of your background and kind of dive into that and lead us into the rest of the conversation.
Yeah. So I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach Central Texas. My husband and I actually have owned the Action Coach business for about 12 years. And then we moved it to Texas, and then we joined forces with Dr. Hartley. So now and Tanner joined so now it's like an Action Coach firm, and it's super exciting. But before that, I have been I'm going to age myself, 35-ish years. And most of my background is in marketing communication, but my sweet spot was nonprofits. So I have, my last role was the CEO of the United Way in Williamson County. And I led the merge with Greater Austin. And then it was finally time to come and work in the family business. Tanner is my son, if the names didn't yeah, my son, not Andy's. But yeah, no, it's been really fun to be able to look at the business side of it. And I've always worked with nonprofits to have them to understand they're a business. And so just really, I believe that helping businesses thrive is helping businesses like yourself to promote yourselves, especially women. I know that the guys don't always get it, but women are amazing, and they're so much better business owners. Anywho,
we're better at everything. No offense, Tanner.
Yeah, exactly. And so being able to bring it all together has just been a lot of fun. And then to be able to do this piece of our business spotlights, I have met a lot of incredible women, and trust me, I will be reaching out. We can meet up for coffee, get together as a group, 1-to-1. I'm in. So from that, let's start off with some questions for y'all. And I'm just going to throw out a question, and then whoever, if you feel like this is really you want to jump in, just just jump. We're not, no rhyme or reason really. So let's do so as a business owner, and because you're women and you wear all those different hats, how many hats are you currently wearing in your business, in one of your businesses, or in your business, since there's a lot of overlap with multiple businesses? So what's the different hats you're wearing right now and I think taking that next step too is when you're talking about the hats you're wearing, what is your favorite hat, and what is your I want to get rid of this hat?
Well, I can tell you that I have an assistant, and she does a lot of the stuff I don't like to do, which makes it really, really way more fun because, I've done a lot of research, a lot of work on finding your unique capability. And, there's some great books out there on that. And there's a lot of tools and things that you can take, if you can't figure it out. But I'm really good with people. I'm really good on the, one-to-ones, sitting down with clients, sitting down with prospects, talking about the business, understanding their problems and how I can be of service. And I hate paperwork. So and I know there's a need for it. I know there's a need for putting everything in the CRM. I know there's a need for that. In the beginning, we didn't do a great job of it, but now we do a really good job of it. But she does all that stuff for me, and I love it because I can go out, I can prospect, I can sell, I can close business. Where I struggle, and I read the book, and if you haven't read it, definitely Who Not How by Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy. It really is it really is the right approach. It's like and I actually in the strategic coach program, Jan Sullivan's program, and one of the things that I was really surprised about was when I looked at how much time do I spend in my unique ability, and it's pretty high, which I'm thankful for, because otherwise I would not be happy girl. Spend more time in your unique ability and outsource the rest. But where I really struggle, and I probably need to talk to Anita about this, is marketing. I haven't found the right who. And so that is the bane of my existence right now. So I've done a lot of work in this area. I still have a lot more work to do.
Awesome. How about the rest of you? Hats. How many hats, and which is your favorite hat?
I don't know if I could quantify the number of hats that I wear. It feels to be totally honest with you, I run 4 companies. I'm also a mother. I have a puppy. My mother lives with me. And so as women, our lives I do believe they are they're more complex and they're different, because we're supposed to be, the best mom in the world. And then we're also supposed to be navigate the business climate, and we're all expanding, with hopes of global domination. Some maybe, just the country, but for me, it's global domination. And so to quantify the number of hats that I believe any woman wears in this society is a difficult question. However, my favorite hat that I wear is definitely coaching, teaching, and I have a unique ability to think about the future in a way that most people are thinking maybe 5-10 minutes down the road, and I'm thinking 5, 10, 15 years down the road. And so I have the ability to look at it big picture, and then kind of from the big picture bring it back to where we're currently standing in a moment in time currently, as opposed to, because all my staff is always like, Tony, you're always in the future. You're always in the future. And I was like, well, someone has to be, we have to think about what's going to happen. Right. And so I think the strategic, the strategy part, the operations part is that my least favorite, right? How does everything work? Where are we going to get the money? Who cares? Right. No, I'm just kidding. I've been an ops manager for years and years and years, and the construction is really cumbersome. Especially we deal with high-end custom homes. Like there's really not a like $10-20 million homes. We're pretty far up there on the home, and so my least favorite part is like the construction operations, because I'm also the expert at that, and it's granular, it's tedious, it's boring. It would be wonderful to completely hand that off, but there's some coaching and teaching that needs to go surrounding that piece.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think I agree with Tony as well. Like we wear so many hats. I mean, luckily everything I do is very similar, because it's all in the film and creative and storytelling and celebrating stories. But then I also, there's the creative side and there's the business side, where I have to be very abrupt and blunt, and there are times where I have to be very direct, and I might hurt a lot of feelings, but then I'm like, yeah, I don't really care about feelings, and then I become the bad person there. I think my favorite part is just to like meet someone who has a story that they haven't written and they haven't, really shared, and then they go ahead and share it, and just to encourage them to go and write. And immediately after a week or so, and there's a script that's sent to me, and it's just this excitement when they share that story. I think that just makes me want to do what I do all the time. What I hate doing, and I've started actively now looking, marketing, of course, but hate, like tremendously detest doing, is having to go and pitch myself as a director and producer and go looking for opportunities when there are agents, unfortunately not in Texas. So now I'm actively searching for an agent. I have an actor agent, so not, that I'm not worried about. That I keep getting auditions, but it's the fact that there's no agent for a director or a film producer in the state of Texas. And the fact that we have this 200 million plus incentive, we have like, about 9 or 10 studios that are being built around town. And I have to go to LA, or I have to go to New York, or I have to go to Atlanta. That's been kind of the bane right now. So my goal before 2023 ends is to lock in a good agent. That is like my biggest cheerleader. So I don't have to be my own cheerleader all the time. But yeah, I think that's been that hat that I really want to shed that hat. I'm gonna give it to someone else that does it better.
Awesome.
You need a
Well, there's
hype
another
man.
business for somebody.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and I know that everybody wears many hats, and I try to approach it because I know there's so many hats to be worn. I kind of approach it differently of being that where are the hats that needed to be filled at the time? So the hats are always constantly changing. They're never the same. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to delegate as much as I can possibly to make things operate well. And that's one of the ways to do that. And you have to trust your staff to be able to do that. And of course, you're going to get bad ones. So you get rid of them. That's just the way it works. One of my favorite things in my companies that I do is the flow of operations. I like to be that backbone person. I don't want to be the forefront person. I want to be the one that's seeing things are working great on a day-to-day basis. And when there is an issue, I am there to resolve that issue. I am that problem solver. I love the problem solving hat. I also like the financials every month. I'm a fan of that because I want to know, where can we improve? And then also where have we excelled and done so good at? And let's really, capitalize on that and be thankful for what we are given at the time. So that's kind of my personal feeling about the hats.
Love it.
Yeah, and I'll round this out. I kind of agree with everyone, Tony. Like I don't think I can quantify it. I think there's just so many roles. I think starting my business, I'm only at it for like 6 months. One of the things that I got tired of doing was doing the same thing every single day. Like the marketing was there, but I was stuck on a Zoom call for like 8 hours, kind of like listening to all the things that had to be done, and then spending like another 3 hours fulfilling all the promises that had been made or that I needed to do as the marketer. And so right now I'm trying to embrace that the hats are fun and that there's like this expansion of learning, like coming up with a business name or going to the bank account and like getting a bank account set up and like doing that properly, things that I've never had the chance to do, had I been in the corporate side of the business. It gets a little crazy, but I think I probably thrive a little bit in that chaos factor when sometimes there's like a little bit more than I like. I end up actually excelling through it. So for right now, I'm wearing a lot of hats, can't count them, but trying to enjoy the ride.
I love that. I mean, it's just the fact that, like I think Tony said it all. It was like, there's so many hats. And as a woman, you're supposed to be the best mom, the best wife, the best whatever. And it's like, whatever. So kudos to you for acknowledging that and saying that so well. So I'm kind of curious as we have these questions, but then Nicole, you made the comment about knowing your financials and everything. And I think one thing that we're seeing a lot is, the business owners that aren't really understanding or knowing their financials. So what would be some advice that you guys would have about sharing with others, and what is the best way and how do you look at your financials? How do you use those to benefit your business?
At these chamber meetings, especially like the women-owned ones, I really hear it a lot from the ladies that are in these smaller companies. I'll talk to a restaurateur that I ask her, because I'm really familiar with the restaurant industry as well. And I'll ask her, I was like, well, how are your profits looking being in this industry, for now, coming out of COVID and so forth? And she says, I have no idea. She goes, I'm just going day to day. And I said, I understand we're all going day to day, but you've got to know your numbers. You need to know where your costs are. You need to know where your sales at. How do you even make a number not knowing where your expenses are? So, I mean, my biggest, I think, suggestion to people that don't look at their financials, even if it's grit work, which it is, Go look
Oh.
it up. See what a balance sheet is. See what an income statement is. Go to your CPA or your bookkeeper. Just say, do a basic cover for me of what this means and entails. I mean, you're looking at maybe a 2-hour conversation. That will save you so much time and money in the future, and it'll help your decision making. And so many businesses make so many terrible decisions because they don't know their numbers and they're just not on the path of being correct in the business aspect of it. And I hate to see nobody go past the 2-year mark. And there's a reason for that. I'm in our company, we're hitting our 10th year. This is also my second official business. My first one was 7 years. And that was a moving business. I've been through the heart of the really difficult companies, and financials were the primary way to make that happen. You've got to know the numbers. It's important.
And I'm gonna
Exactly.
piggyback off of what Nicole is saying. Another about 10 years of my life was dedicated to startups, primarily in the property, prop tech, fintech, ad tech. Everybody's trying to streamline all these antiquated industries like real estate, transaction costs, all this stuff. And so I've spent a vast amount of time in startup land. And startup land, it's like I also come from insurance, so I got to see two business models. Insurance, it's like they hold it's one of the oldest industries in the world. It's like next to what is it called? Shipping and boats and things, commerce, how it gets from country to country,
the oldest industry in the world.
Yeah. And so in insurance, like Lloyd's of London, right? It's like I saw how insurance companies operate, and then I was like, oh, this is boring. I'm out of here. And so then I went over to the startup land and I was like, man, this is exciting. And then I was like, but none of these people have any idea. There is this idea that hyper scaling and hyper growth is always the correct model. And I am quite literally, I will be like, these are all the reasons that you're wrong. Because if you cannot ascertain how you're making money in one market, much less 50 markets, then you should not be growing at that rate because you are not an expert in your business. And so I think educating people to understand that if you're not making business or you don't have diversified revenue streams, because a business is like a human. They tell every human, every millionaire has 5+ business or revenue streams in their life, right? And so your business should be just like a human being because it's a living, organic, breathing, money-eating monster, right? And so I think really, really nailing down how you're going to make money when, say, it's like I do insurance and risk consulting. It's like when building is down, we pivot. And when that's down, we're importing and exporting. And then when that's down, we're doing this. And so being able to pivot when one division of your business is financially not holding its own weight is one of the most important things on the planet.
Agree.
Thank you.
I think it's so different for like the creative side of things sometimes. Because I see a lot of folks, and I call myself shameless that way because we usually have to go and ask people for funding or apply to grants, and then I'm like, it's just a number. It's just black and white. It's just literally the easiest thing to do than to tell everyone about you. And for a lot of creatives, I see that being the biggest issue where they're okay just creating the whole idea. Low and a lot of female, especially women filmmakers or non-binary filmmakers, where we're willing to take the cut. We're willing to say, oh, it's okay. I don't want to get paid as long as the story is made. And that is not a sustainable model in any shape or form. Yay, you've made a story, you've made a film, good for you. But at the end of the day, not thinking about the finances in general and just thinking about the creative as well becomes a huge problem. And I think that's something we see invariably all the time, or trying to do too much without knowing that the too much entails a lot. Every film is a business, like a brand new business that you run. You have a CEO, you have an entire team, you PR, marketing every single time, be it a short film or a feature, documentary or narrative. And sometimes it's just like blood sucking. There's no hours. I was actually laughing with one of my friends earlier that was like, yeah, what day is it today? So I was kind of confused because I thought it was still Monday or Sunday. She goes, no, it's Monday. We meet on Tuesday. And then I thought tomorrow's Wednesday. So they're all jumbled up. But I think that also becomes the biggest thing is just giving your craft a lot more importance, which we should, but also not adding a dollar value to it, which then becomes pretty sad because nothing really moves. Um, but yeah, that's always such a give and take there.
I just gave a presentation last week in New York City to healthcare professionals. But the presentation was on the entrepreneurial journey. And I did some research when I was putting together the presentation, and 25% of businesses, well, 75% of businesses will not make it to the 15-year mark. Yeah. So it's like 20% within the 2 years failed, 45% within the first 5 years, 65% within the first 10 years. So only 25% will be around 15 years from now. And the two things that came out of it that were most important for success, and believe it or not, and I'm a numbers person, but believe it or not, neither one of them were about numbers. 38% of entrepreneurs said that the success factor was being self-disciplined, and the second one was communication skills.
Nice.
Would you, I believe that like discipline, and I mean, that's discipline throughout your entire life, right? It's like, I know every morning my alarm wakes up at 5 o'clock. I get up, I do yoga for 45 minutes. And then from that, I'm looking at forecast projections, whatever's come in from the night before. But it's like that discipline resonates within making smart financial decisions. And then also like understanding where you're at financially. It's like, can we deploy this capital in this manner? You know, it's like, is our forecasting, is everything lining up? Are we doing the best that we can? Are we following up with our client leads? Are our accounts receivables up to date? And so I think that discipline, I think you reiterate the point. It's like being disciplined. It has to resonate throughout every facet of your life. It just can't be the one thing that you're good at in business, because you'll get eaten alive. There's too many things to be good at.
Well, the thing is that the way I look at the world is like, you have to know every day what you need to do on a daily basis to drive those numbers, so for me, every year I put together my yearly plan, and then I break it down into quarters. And then I use the self-journal, which it's a blank book, but it's a quarterly, you basically put your goals for the quarter in there, you track them daily, you look at them weekly, and it's a 13th week notebook for you to be disciplined, because every night before I go to bed, I look at what I'm going to do next day, and every morning when I get up, I look at what I'm going to do today. And then I track it on a weekly basis. I have 2 metrics that I basically do every week to make sure that I make those numbers.
Can we ask what those metrics are?
You certainly can, but they're different for everybody. The important thing is knowing what your activity is. But for me, I have a goal of making appointments with 6 people every week. They could be prospects, they could be current clients, or they could be strategic partners. Now, how do I find those 6 appointments every week? I got to do networking. I gotta be out there, whether it's Zoom networking or in-person networking, 2 networking meetings every week in order to fill that pipeline. Mm-hmm. But that's just my personal one based on 9 years of being in business.
That's a good one.
And that's why it's really important to be involved in the community around you, because there's so many opportunities for networking aside of just B2B. It's the chambers, it's the schools. I mean, the library. I mean, there's so many different ways to get involved in the community and get that. It's almost like a free networking event every single time.
Yeah.
And what's better than that?
Yeah. I think another thing I'd add is like curiosity, I think is successful to make a business successful. Because having been in these big businesses and startup companies, I think that you get like just caught in your ways, whatever that is. And like having a minute to be curious, that could it be done differently, or have we thought about it this way? And I think that having been part of the corporate thing for a while, the machine for a while, I think I lost that luster that I used to have for that curiosity, because it was like, this is just the way we do it. It's got 18,000 processes. I can't break it. I'm too tired to break it. And I think that in your own micro business is so important to have that curiosity, because if your micro business is 2 people like mine is, and we grow it to like 6, then there's going to be another level of complacency on how you just do things, but there is no doing things a certain way. And then I think the other piece of that is to the point of networking. And I don't know if it's with you guys or not, but like, I think because my life was the way it was, I lost the fun part. The funnest part of my job is the networking. And even when I was doing it, whenever I was meeting with whatever person I needed to meet with for my corporate job, I think I lost the ability to like really be, I guess the word is probably curious, or just really authentic, because we were running from meeting to meeting. And what I love now also about my time, and again, I'm a new business owner, is that I take the time to like really be authentic and listen to what the people need or what their problems are. And I may not be able to solve it, but I'm kind of getting back to my fun networking roots, which is like, if I can't do it, or you don't even want me to do it, I'm going to help find somebody who can, just from that like true, pure, authentic nature of myself. And I think that has also been really amazing, because it's like I'm not chained to Zoom all day long to be able to have those authentic conversations.
Yeah, everyone's favorite
Awesome.
words here. It's a meeting that could have been an email, right? It's like
Yeah.
scrap every
Yeah.
meeting from the book. Get rid of all of them,
Exactly.
and you'll
I
know
know what
when
you're
you
going to
need them.
say, right?
And
It's like,
Tony, I really thought you were the one that would woke up a minute before that alarm went off. I just know you're that person.
No way. On my brain, I wake up sometimes at 4:20 in the morning. I'm like, well, my brain's turned on. I guess I can't go back to bed. So I may as well do X, Y, and Z, like
I do that
going.
on the other end. I like have that on the night end, not the morning. I'll push the snooze all day long.
I wish. My goodness.
Yeah, no, this is great. We're just like, I'm enjoying this. I'm just listening to everybody and how you guys all sharing. And I think so, just because time wise and everything, I want each of you to really take the opportunity to say maybe a little bit about who would be a great referral, what you're looking for, and then also like just like one thing about your industry that you'd like us to know, one thing about your business that you think people don't really know about your business or know about your industry.
I
Can
can
you
go
repeat
first.
that one more time, please?
So just kind of one thing about your business, like who would be a really great referral for you, and then also what now I'm losing it. What would be one thing about your industry or your business that you'd like to share with others that they may not know about your business or understand? Or just take it and run with it.
I'll take the last question first. There's nothing glamorous about this industry. It just looks like it, but it's nothing but really physical, hard labor. No hours, no days, no time of the year. So every time someone says, "Oh my God, your life is so glamorous. I see you in all these film festivals. I do this," and I'm like, "Yeah." From the beginning or the inception of the idea to to walking the red carpet with stilettos on. There is nothing glamorous about it. There's nothing but pain and chaos, but I might be a sociopath because I keep coming back to it. And I think that says for everyone in the industry. But in terms of, so finally, after I kind of took the other route out where a lot of filmmakers will start with advertising and media making. I I am a filmmaker first. I started doing more features and storytelling, mainly focusing on a lot of like social impact or stories that are not heard of. And I'm finally branching now into the advertising world. So that's what I'm looking at now is like we've got a couple of commercials already ready to go this year. We've worked with a couple of like tech, but really want to focus more on the small business industry than, the larger firms. Because I have worked with other production companies in the larger productions and larger commercials. And I tell you, the sad part is that it is a very annoyingly male dominant space where there's a token woman and everyone in the industry, like everyone in the crew is just male dominated and everyone in the cast primarily there's no diversity. So that's something that I'm very keen on changing, but starting from like the small business side of things. And that's what I really need help for. And
Thank you.
and rocking stilettos. So if you know anyone, let me know. That's giving out stilettos in Austin.
I can go. So I think I'll go second question first. People think marketing, is making things look pretty. That's what I've heard over the years. And I think there's people who do that. I can do that. But I think really getting down to why your product or solution is the most amazing thing out there and why there's nothing else like that is the foundational work that makes every business thrive. And so, coming together with a holistic plan from like your copy to your creative to like your revenue targets, all of that full view is something that we like to really help founders and CEOs and any business leader with. And then the kind of referrals that we're looking for are really, we focus on the B2B space. We've dabbled with some consumer brands, but I think our passion really lies in the B2B space. And then we're big fans of insurtechs, fintechs, property tech companies, and really helping them get their foundations straight, especially in the world of like AI. There's so many things that could disrupt a traditional business. So like, let us come in and help you look at that landscape, look at your competitors, look to see why people should care about your product and kind of take a crack at it from an outside perspective.
Yeah, and Anita, I remember when I was taking marketing in college, the teacher asked a really good question we had to do a discussion on that I still think about to this day. The question is what is the difference between advertising and marketing? And I really like that question because it's really a difficult one to answer. And everybody just assumes it's like you're saying, you just go out and make it look pretty and advertise. And it's like, there's a lot more to that.
Yeah, exactly. And today people are spending so much on the digital platforms. It's like, well, what happens if your message is just like awful and no one even understands what it's for? Then you just kind of wasted all of that money on the platforms. And all the platforms got away with that the last 5 to 10 years because it was the newest buzz. But really it comes down to that basic building block first and then putting into the engines.
So I'll go ahead and go then. On our side, I think the biggest referral I have, or for us, for our company, is it's going to have to be construction equipment companies or people that have big equipment, because that was how we got started. I mean, we do all these really odd jobs. I mean, have y'all ever seen those security barriers at those military facilities that come up out of the ground?
Yeah.
We're part of that transaction. We paint those. I mean, who knew we would do something like that? But when we very first started our company, it was all based in a company that had a need for sandblasting and also just painting a piece of equipment. We saw a niche business and we expanded on that. And so anybody that has big equipment, that's really has been our specialty in the heart of the company. But we are always willing to look at the odd stuff that you wouldn't believe. We have a job in Burnett where we're doing in Burnett, Texas, where we're doing all their poles inside downtown Burnett. And that's 110, 120 poles. It's just a weird job, but it's there. There's always something that somebody needs to have something done. So don't be scared to take on those projects that are a little out of your comfort zone.
How would they find you if it's not a referral? How do they get to you normally?
Our base has actually just been word of mouth. We have not set anything into marketing motion. And here's why. I have asked, can we start marketing now? And they say, no, we are 2 weeks behind. Don't tell anybody.
Exactly.
So when you have to be honest about what you can handle too. And we've expanded, we've moved locations, got bigger facilities. We're working on another facility, and we outgrew our very first shop within the first year. I mean, we've got something special here. So now we're just nurturing it.
So cool.
I'll go ahead and jump in here then. So the one thing I think that everyone needs to know about me and my business is that we are an end-to-end real estate solutions company. We're not just a design build firm. Because of all of these positions that I've held at a myriad of companies, we can basically address any single real estate need, from acquisition to disposition, from construction to design, from ground up building to a basic remodel, from importing and exporting. Not only do we oscillate in the real estate space, but it is quite literally like if somebody I have a background in event planning, so I've kind of had every job out of necessity, literally. And so I was in event planning. And so a few friends of mine came to me and were like, Tony, I need 10,000 chairs. And I was like, I got you, boo. Because I know every manufacturer of the chair made in the world. And so for me and my business, like, yes, we're a holistic real estate company addressing all these needs, but even like small businesses just trying to get their feet off the ground, but they want t-shirts, or they want 10,000 Rubik's cubes, or they need 100,000 tents and chairs or whatever. And so we can really address any business's need, from real estate to supply chain. And so our perfect referral would be someone with billions of dollars who wants to spend an obscene amount of money on a design of a house that may or may not be functional. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It'll be 100% functional because I'm a builder first and an interior designer second. So it'll be functional. But other than that, it's restaurants, bars, salons. We build a lot of those. We build a lot of homes and fancy ones, and then also anyone who needs supply chain help, because you're getting squeezed in America, and we know how to get a little bandwidth for you to operate it. So
well, I guess I'll go. Jody, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, it's like I'm actually at my mom's for Thanksgiving, and so they're getting like kind of loud. So
Well, my ideal client is a little bit obvious. It's a woman going through a major life transition, and that could be one of three things: divorce, death of a loved one, or retirement. And between the two businesses, that's kind of what I specialize in. Obviously, on the divorce side, I work with individuals or couples. And then everybody needs to look at their finances when they've had a major life transition like that. So the financial planning piece is kind of the cornerstone that goes between both businesses. Whether it's divorce, then they would come in through the divorce side. And if they're not divorced and they still need financial planning, they come in through my Forefront Wealth Partners, which is my wealth management business.
awesome. I'm gonna assume, Tanner, you're gonna do the wrap up because you always do, and you do it so well.
I can certainly take it from there. Well, I do want to be respectful of time, but at the same time, I want to make sure that everyone who's watching has the opportunity to connect with you all afterwards. So I'm going to give you all like 10, 15 seconds each to just kind of say, where can they go for more information? What's the best place to connect with y'all on your website? Kind of where's the best place for you? You get 10 to 15 seconds to kind of share it. I'll just go in my order again. So Amy, we'll start with you. Where can they go for more information to find out more about you?
Your Divorce Made Simple or Forefront Wealth Partners.
Excellent. Anita.
They can find me at sagelyco.com or anita@sagelyco.com.
Beautiful. Tony, how about for you?
You can find me at angeloconsultingllc.net. And I think that's it.
Excellent. Nicole, where can they find out more information about you if you want them to?
They are more than welcome to reach out to me. TexasPaintandFab.com. That's fab like fabrication. And my email is Nicole@TexasPaintandFab.com. No H in the Nicole, by the way.
Excellent. And Kirtana.
I am pretty omnipresent in social media. Luckily, I'm the only person with my name in this entire world, so that helps out. But my production company is Banskota Productions, just like Banskota. It's just Banskota.com. You can find me anywhere in social media, or you can find me on South Asian House because that's also my baby. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Austin, so whenever you want to hit me up, I'm all about networking and not on Zoom. I prefer in person, please. I like coffee and beverages.
I will be reaching out.
And LinkedIn. I forgot about LinkedIn, like the most important of all the social medias, right?
Excellent. Well, I will be putting as much of this information as I can in the video description, especially LinkedIn, because I know that's where many of us had connected initially. So for those that are watching, make sure you take the moment after this is over, go click the links, go connect with everyone. If you can direct message them, send them an email, say, hey, saw you on the Business Spotlight panel, phenomenal conversation, and make sure you make some connections here, because that's one of the most fun things about doing this particular series. So I want to thank y'all for taking the time to be here. And just, it's been absolutely amazing for this conversation today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice meeting everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Alrighty.
Thanksgiving.